milestone.
Halfway.
All right, guys, welcome to the Three Marketeers Show. We are live, and this is episode 50. Finally, we can show these already. It's like, hey, give me 5, man. Like, finally, we can show 5. And we have a very, very special guest. And we have Kenny Yap from Team Joey Yap here today. And of course, the boss of a New Crave Coffee Co. Today, you guys are in for a treat because, like, just now I was talking to Andrew and Kenny at the backstage, right? You see, everybody was talking about going digital, pivoting to digital, but these guys actually started the revolution by leading the whole industry to go digital even before everyone was talking about it. And they lead the pack for many years, and now they become the number one. How often can you talk to the number one in the industry, guys?
Undisputable number one.
Undisputable. Just how we were talking about, the more you just go into Google and Google Feng Shui, what do you see?
Well, you're saying too like it's all because of me.
No. Of course, it's really like you guys run it as a company. And today, of course, everything was together. And you know what?
There's so many important components, that made this happen. And like told you as how luck was like one of the components. We got a big team. Then you cannot forget like the man in front was like, I mean, Joey was a big part of it, of course. So I'm just the guy behind, putting a few pieces together.
You were just saying the guy behind who's connecting the dots is even like you got to be like really conscious all the time and leading the pack and stay ahead of the pack. That's the hardest part. So you guys get your questions ready. You guys, whoever is watching this, you guys have to drop your questions anytime you want it because Kenny said he was going to type in anything over there anyway. So we're going to have fun tonight. So before we roll into the show, let me do a quick introduction. Thank you for tuning in. If it's the first time we meet, by the way, I'm Jason, and I have my partners here on the left-hand side. On my left-hand side is Manfred, left or right, I don't know. Anyway, so beside me is Manfred in purple now, and we have Andrew over here on the top, and Andrew is actually an email marketing specialist if you need help on that, and of course we have Kenny over here. So today we're going to talk about, this is our 50th episode. When we started, we said we want to hit 100, and somehow or other we been through, we didn't never miss an episode. Okay, we never miss a week, never. So if you have been with us for a while, then I really want to know who you are and type anything in the comments so that we can connect, so that you can ask your questions as well. So Three Marketing Show started as a really kind of like a casual chit chat that three of us wants to come together and let you see our face while we talk to each other. But nonetheless, it has turned into something quite interesting today. We have interesting guests and we have hit 50. We want to celebrate the milestone by bringing somebody who's really like leading the digital of an industry to share with us some insights. And one angle to look at it, leading the digital pack is one thing. And of course, the other angle is they built their in-house digital marketing team, instead of depending on some external agencies. That's another story altogether. So, get ready your questions. This is where we come in, right? So we already have Chiwai, our number one comment winner for almost all the time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And guys, get ready your questions. But nonetheless, right, Andrew, because Kenny, you brought Kenny in, you invited Kenny in, definitely I would like to have you to have the honor to introduce Kenny in your own way so that everybody would know who is Kenny. How did you guys met and how all this story happened, right?
Okay.
Andrew?
So besides learning from the guy, Joey, I also was observing the marketing tactics that he has used, primarily in digital marketing. And looking at what they did, it inspired me to take the jump from doing sales and going back to the internet and doing digital marketing. So being a salesman, and when I was one of the students and all those things, so I actually tried to ask, we are salesmen are very good at social engineering. So someone else says, who's the guy behind it that's doing all these launches, all these Facebook stuff and all those things. So eventually, some of the students, the senior ones will say, okay, talk to Kenny, he's the one that's doing all this stuff. So eventually somehow or other I managed to get to know him. And so I asked him one of the first questions that was in Singapore before he actually, that was in Singapore. Then I asked him, I said, I want to start in digital marketing. Where do I start? So Kenny was saying, first thing first, go and get the book called .com Secrets. So that was even before I joined Charles and DMC and all those things. And I went through the book, and that gave me, and then looking at what is possible, because like I say, besides learning from the Chinese metaphysics stuff, I was also learning the marketing stuff. And that gave me the confidence and says, okay, if I go into this path, this is definitely the path that is going to be exciting. And if you do it right, it's going to be very profitable and very powerful as well. So, and Kenny has been I consider him a part-time mentor, because obviously not yet qualified for him to become my mentor. So he's a friend. And I've been trying to ask him since when we started this show. He was one of the first I approached. I said, Chief, would you like to be one of our guests? But Kenny is so humble and it's low key. So it took me about 50 weeks, which is episode 50. Finally, I said, boss. And my pitch was very simple. I said, we've touched episode 50, and I would like you to basically be our guest for our 50th episode. That was the pitch. And awesome obviously pitch. It worked that's why
actually I introduced somebody better to take the spot. You never go close.
So guys, hey, let's put our hands together for Kenny.
Yes.
Really, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Kenny. Really, it's an honor. Yeah, because like I was talking to Andrew all the time. Whenever we talk about funnel and framework and all this kind of thing, he was the guy who told me that you got to learn from GOI, you got to learn all this. And in fact, I'm a student. Okay, I've been learning, and actually, other than learning from the front, from the guy himself, I'm also learning, trying to figure out what's funnel and everything that is working at the back. So thank you so much for all the crazy, interesting framework that you built that inspire us. Okay, but Kenny, just now we were talking about something. Just now, a question that people ask: what do you do? Yeah. By the way,
so for the guys at your show, we were talking about this, and I said, actually, this is one of the hardest questions for me to answer. So I was very happy, to whenever I meet people like Jason and talk to people like Andrew, even Manfred, it's very easy to speak to them because they know exactly what. If I tell them, hey, I design funnels, or I manage launches, immediately they'll know what is it. But if I tell somebody who's in marketing, I tell somebody who's in corporate world, what the fuck? Launch fair, the kind of thing. So even
to them, launching is cutting ribbon.
Even somebody who says they're in digital marketing. The idea of digital marketing is, if you pay me, I'll do 4 posts for you a week. Full stop. That's the idea of digital marketing, to just create posts on social media.
Right.
So if people still ask me what I do, usually I just tell them, I just do operations, sometimes I'm the security guard, that's all thing only. It's awesome. That's too difficult to explain, what's a launch? What's this? How do you do? Yeah. How do you do Facebook buys? How do you do traffic? How do you do nurturing sequence? All these are jargons to marketers that are from the conventional side.
So they don't understand.
So what I do?
Let's say wait. We have some questions. We have something interesting. Like Chiwa was saying, so apa you buat?
So to take 1 hour, I'll tell you at the end of the show if you stick to the end.
That's the thing. Yeah, but since we're at the comments height, we have Mikael here. What's up, man? And with Chiwa also, we have Jeffrey. Jeffrey is from Jeffrey. Where are you from? I don't really get to know where you're from, but thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Yes. And if you guys are not sure, Kenny is from Team Joey Yap, the #1 Chinese metaphysics brand in the world. Okay, and they have how many students you have got so far? I mean, like the other day, Gerard was talking about it during one of his training. How many million now?
All in pass through our doors is close to 1 million. Pass through our doors for short courses, day courses, long courses, whatever it is But if you talk about a single event or single class, the highest number we've been, thanks to the pandemic, is 24,000.
Wow.
A 3-day event earlier this year, 24,000.
Crazy.
That's how many? 37 countries. More than that, right?
More than that. This one was 60 plus. This event.
60 plus countries.
Yeah. Crazy, in the old days without the pandemic, where we had to book a hall And when people fly in, there was like the record that we had was 12,000 a day.
12,000, my tech.
Last year, right? Like
last year.
The annual feng shui and astrology.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Jackson, hi, Jackson.
Yeah, with Jeffrey said this, he's from Philippines. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jackson here has been with JY team, the student of a JY for so long. And then now only you know that Kenny's responsible.
Now only you know, huh?
Right. Now you know, all right?
Now you can put a face.
JY said, you know, you gotta be upfront related to Joey by any chance. What? Jenny, Kenny, I give it
Can
to
I
you.
be upfront with the answer too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, definitely. I thought this would be like foretelling, really, you know.
Yeah, it's the same surname, right? It's the brother, by the way.
Yeah, but the thing is, the guys here were very courteous also lah. I mean, Jason and Andrew, they asked me, hey, can I introduce as Joey's brother? But since I'm the one sitting and not Joey's, I'll just tell you that normally I don't like people introducing me as Joey's brother lah, because it takes away I'd rather not be introduced normally lah. But for
you're a man on your own, man.
For something that's related to launches, it's synonymous. No, for something related to launches, there's no way. I mean, I'd be very upfront here. There's no way we would have done 7 and 8 figure launches without a brand like a Joey's name on it. Impossible. I mean, if you ask me to, I can still do the exact same funnel, design the same thing, do the same activities. Well, it'll take another 20 years to build up a name like this. And that's a big maybe also lah. So, credit goes to where credit is due lah. Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah, you see all those students over here, man, like crazy. So you see, like we have Jennifer, like Kenny is Joey's brother. Obviously, Jennifer is your student. And then we have Mikhail asking Kenny, the Bao Sua Bao Hai fella. I think yes. No lah, Kenny is the one who actually knows everything, but he knows what to do, right? And then like Jeffrey was saying, it's almost like Tony Robbins. Yes, it is. You know what you're saying, Kenny?
Don't know also have to do that kind of,
Yes.
Digital marketing is like that, all right? And you can't.
This one can do. No, this one can do. This one when can do.
The thing about the good thing about digital marketing that's really different from conventional marketing is you immediately know whether your things, your ideas, your tool work or not. There's no conventional marketing is 50-50 lah. You dump your money in, put all the time in, do all the work, and then 6 months later you see the sales report lor. But this one is different, ma. This one you can constantly instantly see it and then constantly make changes to it. So for a person like me who makes so many mistakes, it's perfect lah. You can keep making mistakes, compound them. Oh, okay, next one my mistakes not so bad. Next one not so bad. So that's how you get perfect lah. Awesome. I mean, that's how we learn, right? As a digital marketer, it's all about mistakes.
I think in our discussion also I realized one of the key thing about the group and even your team that you're leading is there's always this constant breaking things down, rebuilding, experimentation, and constant innovation. I think that that truly makes a difference for a company and organization.
Yeah. So, I mean, let me throw this question before we go into any of the questions, since we're actually talking about the funnel building framework and all this kind of thing, right? So, Kenny, since you're the other guy who's actually masterminding all these launches and all that, right? How do you constantly stay ahead of, let's say you have done a 6-7 figures launch last time. Now, how do you actually plan ahead? How do you actually find how can you do better? Usually, what kind of angle that you'll be thinking about? Is it the product? Is it the marketing? Is it the advertising side of it? What will be the angle to look into? What will be the most important factor that you take into consideration?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. The answer depends on whom I'm speaking to lah.
Okay.
If somebody who's just starting out, I think the key is look, listen, and then you leverage. So when we first started out, when we did our first few launches, I think just for the sake of everyone, when we launch something, it means we do a big campaign online. There's a start date and there's an end date, and there's a constant build up, of value up to a point where you make an offer, and then the offer will expire at some point. So when we do a launch, for us by design, we put in 4 launches a year.
Yep.
Now, the first few times when we were doing it, the important thing that we did, and we did right, was we listened first. We actually went out to go and listen to the existing conversations that were already out there. All these problems that, people already had. And we kepo forums, you go and see, Facebook groups, you go inside kepo, you go and research. It's a lot of research. You use keyword tools. We use buzzwords to look at what's buzzing, BuzzSumo. We even look at Forbes magazine, because if you follow our work, we are very, our target audience is very business centric. So most of the time, I think most of them, about 80% of them are business owners or people who want to start a business. The other 20% professionals or homemakers. So we identify this 80% and say, okay, we got to find the 20% that really, is bothering these guys. We need to find out what they want first. So we really go out there and listen. Just listen. We didn't say anything. We didn't comment. We're just listening to the existing conversations.
Wow.
The next part is when we were looking. So in Malaysia at that time, when we did the launches, nobody did launches. I don't think there were digital marketers also. Very few. God also is probably drop shipping or selling products online. E-commerce, they call it at the time. So we look outwards. We look at, definitely there's no feng shui or Chinese metaphysics businesses out there that were doing digital. So we look at other industries. Who's doing it well? Who's doing it this? There were also brick and mortar business that we looked at. Just look around and we look for people that we can learn from. And then we came back and we created a product that we can leverage on. That's all.
So there's 3 steps.
So when we didn't have we didn't know what a funnel is at that time. Didn't know. We just thought, hey, how are we going to inform them of the offer? Send email or send video. We didn't even know it was called a video sales letter at the time. There's no name for this kind of thing. And then the what do you call that? In the old days, there's no ClickFunnels.
Even you started before that.
Way before, but before that, before the first thing that came out that looked like ClickFunnels, I think it was it called Lead Pages. Very long ago, Rihanna.
Yeah, you started with Lead Pages, yes.
Yeah, but before that, you had to build your own page. You had to get a coder to code the page. You have to, subscribe to PayPal to take international credit card, those kind of things. At some point, I remember we were taking credit cards by phone manually, So all these tools came in today. It's so easy, to do it. But in the old days, it wasn't like that. So when we first started doing launch, the tools were a big. Technology itself was a big hurdle. But at the time, we didn't know what we were missing out. We didn't know that ClickFunnels will exist today or not. So we didn't know how canggih it could be. The only thing that really mattered was how we can launch it, how we can sell the product and then, deliver the value only.
Wow.
So that's how it sort of started and began. And I would say, look, listen, leverage only. That's it to build a product.
100%.
But if you're somebody who's already been doing online for a while now, and we've been doing it since I think 2015 was our first official launch, first official one. At that time, Infusionsoft just launched. It was like, wow, God technology.
Wow, Infusionsoft at that time, yes.
Infusionsoft that can automate email design, this step, that step, So we were so blown away by technology at the time, And then so again, I come back to your question. Is it if for somebody who's experienced at launching, actually the real thing you got to focus on is the small things. Do those well only. The formula for launch doesn't change one. The way you would send an email also. You can send 3 emails, you can send 5 emails. Small difference But it doesn't really change that much on. It's not like there's a new age of technology, So I would focus on very, very small things. For example, the nuances of the titling of the emails, like what Andrew is teaching on. When you copywriting, last time in the old days, it can be very unsophisticated, broken English. You can still do well. But today, because attention is so, the commodity of attention is so precious now. The first 20 seconds, if you waste their time, that's it already, That's it, bye already. You lose your audience already. Right? So don't focus, I think at some point also digital marketing became a game of list building. But it shouldn't be list building. Like, it should more be, you shouldn't refer to it as a list in the first place. You should refer to it as an audience.
Yeah.
How much of the audience you want to connect to, that you understand about them. And if you have, two different types of audiences within the same list, you better address the two different audiences separately,
That's true.
Otherwise, you will get this, the end result is, hey, I didn't sign up for this. And then they leave you.
Yeah.
So for a season, somebody who's doing launches who knows all this, like what emails to do, what tools to use, then just focus on doing those small things, like coming out better headers, coming out better copywriting.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Seriously, thank you so much for the power sharing. Because of what I can see here is that, when you started, and talk about launches, man, we all like, shit, we are like kiddos talking to all these guys out there. I also believe that because at that point of time, you didn't have so much so-called like crazy tools and technologies like tools and everything available that actually kind of like tie you down to focus on really what's really matter. I think that's also very important, because nowadays when we talk about launches, like, first thing first, what's coming to their people's head will be like, which tool should I choose? Or is it ClickFunnels? Is it WordPress and all that? And eventually you're actually putting your focus on the wrong thing, right? So I think it's really important to, going back to the root. But Kenny, you're saying?
Sorry,
go ahead, please.
What you just touched on is a very, very important point. I think technology can be, it's a catch-22, You focus too much on it, you get stuck. But if you don't know what you're doing, also you cannot start.
So somehow
not get distracted with it,
Yeah. That's why the clarity and the awareness is kind of like the balance that the marketers have to find in between. And I truly believe that takes experience. Somehow rather, for those people who are new, right, it's very difficult to tell you that, ClickFunnels is good or that is good. You got to bang your head and see which one is working for you, right? But Kenny, I caught one point just now. You say that you officially started the digitalization of your company in 2015, where you started your first launch. That was like the way back time that nobody was really looking at going digital. Every company was really like comfortable with the brick and mortar. What made you start thinking? What made you guys want to go digital? And eventually, you went on to build an international big brand over there. So what made you started?
Actually, I will make a small correction there.
Okay.
We didn't go digital in 2015. 2015 was the year we used this method called launch. Prior to that, we have always embraced technology. And in the old days, we call it digital. So it was e-commerce. And I mentioned earlier in our brief chit-chat also, actually in the old days when Joey was doing digital at the time, it was in DVDs. You can actually order the DVDs online through a website. True. So that was the so-called digital at the time, because at the time, you didn't have platforms like Teachable, like Udemy where you can is a Netflix kind of model where you can watch on demand educational programs. So in the old days, buy DVD, order DVD online, So 2015, so I wouldn't say there was a we've always embraced technology in that sense. So going to do a launch was just the natural next step for us. There was no we can't do brick and mortar anymore. That's why we do. It wasn't like or just calling it a pivot is a buzzword. There was no need for a pivot at the time, because to pivot is actually part of good business DNA. It has to be built into any good. If you are starting a business, you cannot have business A last you 5 years without change. You have to constantly innovate it right? So digital technology is only an enabler, right? So even if there's no digital technology, you sure innovate somewhere else and do something else also. So 2015 was we use a method called launch. That's how when we do a launch, if you know what funnels are, it's like, it's a big funnel head where you put in a lot of new audiences, new people coming in, and then they go through an experience all the way, man. So at that time when we started doing launching, then there was a need to do Facebook ads. There was a need to understand what paid traffic is, what organic traffic is, what, so many different things that we needed to learn at the time just to make the funnel even better.
Now, okay, awesome. Thank you so much for the answer, Kenny. I think that's where we want to go into the next one. You see, like you started earlier during the DVD era, and you always embrace the digital, and you started doing launches in 2015. Now, many years down the road until today, you guys totally are masters in launches already. Now, the next question that I have for you guys is like, what keeps you ahead? How do you stay ahead of your competition? Which I don't think you have competition anymore, right? Do you?
Not directly. There are always smaller fish nibbling.
Okay.
It's common. I think everywhere, every market, every industry. If you're the biggest fish, then you have smaller fish coming to eat your food, and that's okay, lah. It just signifies that you're in a healthy pond. The pond is
growing.
It's your responsibility to make it grow as well, lah. And you need the smaller fish to help it grow too.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we dealing with it, lah? Well, we're not like, we don't buy them drinks and sit down. But we don't see any immediate threats for what we're doing, because we are constantly trying to break into new markets, bring into if you look at our there's this old very ancient book called the 10,000-year-old calendar, lah. It's been there for years, right? Like not 10,000 years, it's been around for 1,000 over years, lah.
Money like.
So the what we did in the program design, when we listened to what people wanted, was we created a year planning tool based on date selection. Okay, so a year planning tool is like, it's like a journal, lah. How you would plan. If you're a peak performance person, you plan your time, you make good use of your time. So we sort of merged the Western application with the ancient Chinese, and then we had a brand new product. We're not selling the 10,000-year calendar. We're selling you a whole transformation program for 12 months. So that helps us keep ahead, because if you go to a competitor that's out there, you're going to buy the 10,000-year calendar. So like which is homogeneous. You can buy it from anywhere. You can download from the internet these days. It's homogeneous.
You just create better product out of it.
Correct. We don't just innovate the tool, the product itself, because it's a digital and it's an intellectual product. We get to say how we want to improve it on, and before we decide what we want to create, we first need to understand what people's problems are, how to help them solve it, Can we create something to fill in this gap,
I think that's totally golden, because I think if you have ever tried to build a funnel, launch a product or whatnot, you guys, I believe you can feel my pain. I actually experienced this pain like last year several times. You build a product that nobody wants, and there you go. The answer to that is, if you want to launch something, you want to build something, you got to really find your way to listen to what people need. Then only you start building something. Don't go on like us. I made a mistakes like last year several times. You build something, then crickets and all this kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's a very important thing. Eventually for all digital marketers, we have to really learn from that. Okay, now I want to go into the comments over here. Let's see if there's. I have a lot of JY over there, obviously. Like we have JY Delvin. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and JY David, JY Raymond, what's up? And then we have Jackson also. Jackson said the most commendable is always about giving free value. Jab, right? Okay, since we talk about free, seriously, as big as JY right now, you guys are still doing so many free stuffs. Why?
To target new audiences, to let, okay, as many students that we have lah, there is a 90% of that pie that has not experienced the student experience with us. Has not, even though it's free, even though we've been around for so long, the market is just that abundant lah. It's almost infinite lah. We cannot reach out to everybody lah.
True.
So with that mindset, what we want to really create is for somebody to experience the real deal first, before they even see an offer lah. Like, this is what we can do. We can show you the results. You experience the results. You do it yourself. Do. If you like it, carry on. If you don't, no problem. We'll see you again the next round. That's it.
That's a very powerful mindset. That's a very powerful mindset, because a lot of people, when they grow to a certain point, right, they take away the free stuff.
Really,
and they kind of like take away the kind of like the growing engine, to a certain part of it.
I must admit lah, this you cannot apply to a lot of physical kind of goods.
Yes, of course.
There's some limitation to this. Like my friend asked me, I sell aircon.
How to do free?
How to do a launch? He asked me, then I said, okay. Let me understand a bit more first. Where are you selling? Oh, Lazada. I said, oh wow, Lazada means I sell by price, free delivery. Those things, those are the usual things the buyers, like, they're trained to see that already. So I told him, okay, you got to change the game already. If you play in Lazada's game, you got to play by their rules, and you can't do much lah. But if you innovate your business outside of just being an e-commerce place, like for example, maybe cleaning or self-maintenance of aircons can save you how much, and this is a short course I can tell you, do DIY kind of thing, then you become the aircon expert guy, But then again, of course, he tried to do video, he didn't do it lah. But that was my advice to him. If we just say, okay, this is the game, and I'm going to join Lazada, and this is, you can do perfect copywriting, but then don't forget the control is within Lazada. Lazada has trained their customers to like buy on 9988, these kind of things, and it's all price, all go all out at those days. So it's a very difficult battle for you to compete there. Yeah, but if you get out of the frame that they have built, then you get to decide your own fate lah.
I think that's a very interesting point, because I think that's in fact some of the problems a lot of e-commerce sellers are actually facing. Because selling in marketplace is a different ball game. It's not easy now, not compared to like older days. Okay, I want to bring up this question because just now we were talking about going through all the questions, right? And Kenny told me that he has some unorthodox answer to this one. There you go. What it takes to be an effective online marketer. We want to hear from the master himself, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I thought this question was really unfair. It's very unfair to ask what is an online marketer, because the definition of an online marketer is very muddy, fuzzy, dirty, whatever you call it lah. You go to the corporate world, because I was in corporate 9-10 years ago, and in the old days, even marketing is very broad. Online marketing is more broad than you think. Okay, it's so broad that when anything can be online marketing these days and anything online marketing can be marketing. Marketing is two-way It's very hard to define already. It's so gray that if you ask me again that's not the question. The first question is, what do you do? And I tell you I'm an online marketer. So what do? You post 4 posts a day. I do copywriting, also online marketer. I write emails, I send emails, I manage CRM database, also considered online marketing.
Yep.
Okay, so it's so broad that how am I going to find an way to define effective? Right? So I think
in what?
It's very hard to. I would say my job or what I'm good at is project management. I'm a professional project manager . And it's so ngam, the tool that I use is just mostly, more than 70% is probably online tools. That's it. But the core fundamentals of what makes somebody a good marketer, not online marketer, is the same as what we will look for in a good marketer. Right, so if you're from agency before, you also know copywriting they got creative got this designer, so many things but the CEO is who the top management people are who what are they good at So these are the same things that will make an effective online marketer. Is the term marketing hasn't changed, it's just the arena changed a bit, the players change a little bit Right, the rules more or less is the same one. The fields that we are playing in is actually more or less the same one. Okay, so some people are better at copywriting, so they are also online marketers, like our Andrew here. Some people are better at e-commerce; they're also online marketers. For me, I think I excel in project management. I can find the right people to do the right things. I know how to set the right goals. I'm also very lucky to have a very good team. I'm also very lucky to have a very good product in what my brother does, very passionate about his product. So I can focus on all the nitty-gritty, tying up all the loose ends, super glue all the leaks, all the broken stuff after that. So I make things work that way. Right? But to do what our launches are supposed are doing right now, we need a very passionate front man, which Joey is very good at. So I just find the right components to complement one another, live harmoniously, like what Feng Shui is about.
I like that. That's a very good answer.
So effective, I think very hard to answer. How to say that we need so many things going around. But of course, I mean, on a platform like yours, I'm sure you're speaking to a lot of solopreneurs. So they'll be like, wow, how you got team can I got no team, then how? So usually we will start off, I think if I were you guys, I would just focus on what's important. It's like I started Crave Coffee with some friends. We were talking about it. We don't have a team there on there. We got 3 sleeping partners only. All sleeping all the time. We don't do much. We just pick a few things that we think are important, and we just do those only. So it's really very inactive So we've got somebody doing PR, we've got somebody doing some copywriting, and then we got a customer who is also our photographer, which we pay in coffee. Do all those. That's it, because we knew the game was going to be on Grab food delivery, all those things, right? So, and we decided at some point, okay, to sell on this platform, you need to have good price, good value, and you need to have great pictures and very catchy headlines. That's it. So these 3 things only we did.
I think it's a good angle that we turn things around into Crave Coffee right now, because this is a very interesting product, as I can see. You have outlets, but you are mainly on digital.
Actually, this was like
how did it all started? What was the model behind it? Except the 3 sleeping partners.
Actually, we were having coffee at the time So you remember listen, look, and leverage or not?
Okay.
So pandemic at the time, after the first 3 months, they let us out for a while, right?
Yes.
So we were having coffee at the time and I said, hey, you know what I had this problem ordering coffee. What the hell, man? Number one, the delivery is so expensive from the places that I want, the good coffee. Then if I go in for the commercial brands, okay, I don't want to bash the big guys, but if you drink coffee from commercial big brands, you can't expect much. So and then when it was delivered, it was like, oh, all the coffee spilled out. So I thought, wow, this is a huge problem. I had a problem myself, and I drink a lot of coffee. I was like, hey, why don't we do coffee? I like coffee a lot, right? And we got this problem now, the delivery thing will be around for a long time. We said if we can solve the spillage problem, if we can lower the prices so that when people pay for delivery, they won't feel like they're paying, through their noses for coffee delivered. Sure, go market on. So that's how we say okay. Then next day you register the thing and just jalan,
That's nice.
So yeah, 1 year already, so fast.
1 year.
How many outlets, you guys? How many outlets
we started with one. We have 6 today already. So these are all virtual kitchens. So we don't have dine-ins at all on zero dine-in. We focus only on delivery. Also, we use platforms like, it's built for Grab, built for Foodpanda, built for BP, those kind of platforms.
This is very similar to direct to consumer already. It's like a DTC brand. It's very much a DTC brand. So guys,
it's almost pandemic proof.
Yeah, 100% pandemic proof. You don't even need to actually worry about what people walk through your door, then they carry virus. How? Then the whole whatever outlet need to shut down. How? No worries. Okay, so like what Kenny mentioned just now, they have taken care of about the spilling problem, and then it's actually a very affordable. Even you pay the delivery, you won't feel the pinch, right? So this is the link that you can go and follow them on Instagram, and of course. Yeah, and order of course. I was just looking at it because I was talking
follow, order.
Don't just follow and order right now, right? So basically, then we can try it, and then we can see how nice is the coffee, and of course, anything you can feedback, go back to the Instagram and talk to them if there's anything, right? So yeah, I mean, thank you so much for sharing that part of it, and I think what we want to really round back here is we want to go back to how we actually so-called frame our discussion topic today, because instead of getting help from external agencies and all that, you guys built an in-house team.
Yeah.
Right. You guys built an in-house team. That's really a very unorthodox approach when going digital. And to be very frank, everybody knows that if you want to maintain an in-house team, we have a few like Chiwa and all these are all agency people. It's not easy. So why you started an in-house team and what it takes to build an in-house team?
By the way, the in-house team is called Hidden Leaf.
The
code name for the in-house team is called Hidden Leaf.
Why Hidden Leaf? Why?
Number one, we are big fans of Naruto. Number two, we actually modeled the team, the mantra of the team after this Naruto and the Hidden Village. How it. Because at that time, digital marketing is so new, we had to be ninjas, And we still do use some external vendors, but those only on, like for example, the video team. We got some sound guys coming in, those mobile cameras. So this one requires a team to come in. But most of the time, we prefer our in-house. Like today, our own studio, we have our own LED background. We have all the AV equipment ourselves. The big cameras around. The touch of button can go live in the stage setting. So the reason we want our own thing is because of flexibility, and we have the resources too. And we knew at that time already if we wanted to really be serious in our launches and to go, even one step further in nurturing leads, acquiring new leads, building new audiences, these things have full time really cannot be part time anymore. Yeah, it's very, very hard to. I mean, I would agree if you said okay, there's more talent in a freelancers market. I agree Some of these guys who are really good, they are freelancing But those that are Sifu grandmaster level, they're like you're teaching already. They won't consult already. Right? So we thought, since we're going to spend so much, might as well build our own team. It made more sense that way. And with that, we also can because we're in a niche. Our industry is not like selling insurance. Our niche requires some level of product knowledge. If you're not in-house, you're not so motivated to pick up. And if you join us as a staff in the group, you have to have some interest in the field on metaphysics. If you go to agency, they'll be like, what's this? It's a crystal, the kind of thing, we skip all this headache. At the time of hiring, interviewing, they know who we are. It's like a marriage, they come in, then we build off from there. So the training, everything is done here, and then actually most of that I just ask them to learn because there's so many better teachers than me out there. Don't even need to learn from me. And then some of this field every day new tools, new tactics, new language come out. So learning from me is not the best way. In fact, I hired those people who are smarter than me, who has the initiative to go and learn and kind of teach me better lah.
Nice.
They just say, propose, easy the way.
Yeah. But by the way, Kenny, since we're at this topic, right? What would be your advice if somebody wants to try to build their in-house digital marketing team?
You mean what to look for, right?
What to look for, and what are the things that we should, potential loopholes or mistakes that we should avoid?
Well, coming back to how we look for, it comes back to marketing as a core study or subject. If you look for a good internet or digital marketer, that person must first be acquainted to what marketing is, right? If there's some telltale signs of whether this person is a good marketer or not. If that person, everything is this one fake one, this one don't buy. You can see somebody who loves shopping, who loves spending.
Okay.
Event. I don't just look at what's on stage. I look at what's back end, what's going on. Curious mind like that, So that is very important, A marketing person by nature is very curious, Yeah. So you want to look for that first. I think the skills, the basic skill is enough for you, Basic means hangs out behind Instagram, know what all the stories are, know Facebook, Whether or not they know how to buy ads is another story, because that buying ads, it's a bit of an art, a bit of a science also, You need one person who's very analytical, look at numbers, look at the stock market, and then the other person is very creative, who would imagine, my target audience looks like this, wearing a flower here. Those kind of things are very, very creative mind, and you marry the two together when you have people like that in your team, perfectly. If you don't have a team, you have to wear two hats, That's it,
True.
So those are the things I look for, In terms of skills, I have given up trying to look for people who knows exactly what we need them to do, Because to be honest, if you go out there, in your audience, you ask them what's a launch, they also cannot tell, You ask them, okay, Facebook ads, you know how to do not? I know. Oh, okay, boost post. How target? What is your decision table or decision logic? Can you explain to me? Can you look at can you use data to show me? So those things, unless you're a big agency, if I'm pretty sure, I can assure you also, we've spoken to a lot of agencies who try to sell you the idea that they know what they're doing, also don't know what they're doing. So I
don't think any agency there to approach you all.
No, agency go and approach. God, man.
Serious. Oh, God. Instagram more, because Instagram we are very late to the game, Instagram we're very, very late to the game. So a lot of Instagrammers come to us,
Right.
Instagrammers come to you, meaning that they want to actually help you manage the Instagram or craft your strategy, or what? What was that?
I think these days most of the newer kind of agencies are focused on KOLs. So they don't really craft your messages anymore. It's not the conventional kind of I craft a campaign for you. Not agency kind of work. These guys, they're like, okay, I get somebody will post this for you, do this contest for you, like that,
I see.
So we also try here now. That's how we learn. If not, we just see from the outside anymore.
True.
Micro influencers.
Yeah, we're also learning from them.
Yeah.
True, Instagram is a different ballgame. But if you want to learn TikTok, by the way, Kenny, you have Manfred here. Check that out. Manfred is diving damn deep into TikTok, man. Seriously, that guy, seriously, he has been telling us that you have to go TikTok, but seriously, we are trying to figure out how. Anyway.
Can dance or not, yeah?
No, But you seriously, TikTok has kind of evolving, and Manfred is doing a lot of research on that, which we believe there has got some room for, for example, Manfred has been telling us people like Adrian Wee, also knowledge based, also doing quite well in TikTok as well, because they actually, you guys have a lot of content, can cut into snippets and all that to go there, to go TikTok and all that. It should work. I mean, if you need help, for Manfred. But anyway, I think I want to.
We are TikTok, totally out of TikTok,
Oh yeah, Telegram. Yes, you guys are really big on Telegram. That's for sure, man. But what is your strategy on Telegram? Seriously, I mean, if you don't mind, can you share a bit of the strategy? How do you yeah?
How do we market? We actually we started out as an accident and also because of the pandemic . So there was one day I was sitting with Joe in his room and asking what he's doing. He said, "Oh, look at Telegram." I was going to research what Telegram is and join. Oh wow, not bad. I was just thinking actually Telegram is very similar to WhatsApp. Okay. Now the core difference between a person's behavior when they're checking a message versus checking social media is the need to take off all your messages. Okay, now email to be that row one. Email used to be that inbox got 5,000. I have to check one by one, check it off. Human nature . In your iPhone, you got the red tick on. You must click and see on. Human nature is like that. So Telegram the properties of Telegram is very similar to WhatsApp. It's very personal. And when somebody is listening to a Telegram message, then you're not competing with somebody scrolling other videos, or it's not a scroll contest anymore. But if they click if they don't click, it's a different story right? So we feel Telegram has a engagement level that's very similar to a podcast, except this is much easier to manage, and then everything is built into Telegram's how you call it, the statistics. All your numbers, how many people open, they share how many, everything is seen. Yeah. So Telegram provides those kind of analytics that podcasts don't. Podcast is still got some barrier. You got to turn on the podcast, you got to download it and then listen to it. Right? Yeah. But Telegram channel is so personal. It's like picking up your voicemail in WhatsApp only.
That's very true.
That's the difference. That's why we want.
That's very true. That's another example. Sorry, you're saying?
I say the most important thing is you don't have to compete. If you're on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, you're competing with people scrolling through, 2 seconds, done. So, so imagine you high production value, do nice video, they only watch the 3 seconds, they scroll already. Yeah, but Telegram, the minute they click, the retention rate is much higher.
That's interesting.
I think that's another example of how another example that explains how your team actually always stay ahead of competition. Why? Because you guys are always doing things. Come on, man, Telegram. Who is thinking about Telegram? Right? We're all looking at Facebook Instagram Okay paling canggih we go TikTok What else? Like who would think about Instagram, using Instagram as a marketing tool? That's really ahead in my opinion. So yeah, I think that would. Thank you so much for
Telegram. One more advantage I need to tell you all is you get to keep the contact.
Oh, yeah, true. Because they become a contact,
the numbers, the contacts you keep. Sorry, did I get disconnected?
No. You actually kind of you're back. You're okay. You're okay. Just now was shaky a bit.
I'm back. You hear me?
You're back.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Sorry,
all good. So
okay.
There you go, guys. Telegram.
Yeah, so Telegram. You guys probably should start looking at, instead of course we have Manfred, expert of TikTok anyway. But if you want to go to Telegram, then you should consider really looking into that. That's one angle. But can we actually get some advice from you before we go, Kenny? I think, for anyone who wants to formulate, anyone who is thinking about launching a product, anyone who's doing a launch, who's planning to do a launch, or probably have been trying to do a launch but maybe haven't really found any good success in it. Can we learn from you a bit? How do you go about formulating a launch strategy in terms of the marketing strategy for every launch? How do you go about that? Can we actually walk this through a bit? Yeah.
Well, is again those three things you listen, you look, and then you just leverage. Leverage means leverage is the what would make it irresistible for for your customer, your prospect to say yes, lor. Like if the pain is
that's offer, right?
Yeah, the leveraging is you already know what their problem is, but you listen, you know where they are, you go, you send your Facebook ads to them. It's very simple. The strategy is not rocket science. There's no like $1 million strategy. It's just three things in it. Right? Of course, the is nowadays is like brushing teeth is a given already lah. Okay, there's no two ways about it. You have to write your emails and write them very well. But if you're talking about strategy, it doesn't go far. There's just these three things only. You understand, listen to what your customers are asking for, what they're complaining, what they're crying about, right? Look at what's available out there. What are people offering? What are competitors offering if you have competitors? What are your peers doing? What is the tool that can best do this simple job that you need? And then craft your offer. Really, the offer first comes with product design as well. There's no rocket science strategy behind it. All right. If you're asking me about the process, okay, there could be many different styles of launches, but these are all nuances. It doesn't sway too far from the three core things that we actually do. Okay, so that's the three key takeaways I would ask you to do if you're doing a launch, right? There are certain hacks or maybe tips that I would give like for example if you're doing digital marketing and you got a new lead that come in and then you straight away make that offer, also cannot. It's like asking a girl to marry you on the second date or third date, right? So there's this thing that we learned called the nurturing sequence. So nurturing sequence is a fancy way of saying, I send you 7 emails lah, because it's universally known that if you get 7 touch points with the customer, provided you know how to build authority, know how to build that trust, know how to show your credentials, know how to show things like social proofing. I mean, if you've done some work before, if you've gotten results for somebody before, make a case study out of it, because somebody out there in your space right now could be the exact same, going through the same thing the exact person is going through, right? So there are these small things that happen along the way, but it doesn't sway far from the 3 things that I mentioned. Because if you listen carefully, this is needed. The next logical step is like, how do I tell them only, whether you choose Telegram to tell them you use TikTok really depends on where they're hanging out in the first place, Right? If you understand where your audience is, then then you will know what tool to use it.
Fantastic.
It's very simple.
Wow. Simple, but this is really like you're compressing all the probably the learning in the past many years into a quick 3 minutes.
It has to be simple. Otherwise, if you have a team and it's so complicated, everywhere will break down. Everything must come back to the same 3 roots. Then your marketing, you got big team also, you can run it the same way. You got small team also, you just focus on 3 things. Cannot go wrong.
Totally. Thank you so much.
The mark of a master or a sifu or somebody who has been there, done that, is the ability to explain and break down the entire process that sounds so complicated and something so simple.
Yeah,
the reason why is because they actually gone through. And see, when you're starting out, you're always captivated by the bright shiny objects, this tool and all those stuff. But if somebody who has gone through and totally have experience in it, they would then see that at the end of the day, it's just 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, man.
The rest is all noise.
Simplifying into a framework. All right.
Very
awesome.
true.
Awesome.
Very true.
Okay. I mean, that is coming towards the end of this. But before we go, Manfred, let's go through our website of the week. What are we going to look at today? So let me
give me a minute.
So it's actually I'm trying to type in over here. But while I'm doing that, guys, this is really bringing up this link again. The Crave Coffee.
Get your coffee. Only one place.
You definitely need this. It's coffee. Just counting how many coffee I had today. My goodness. And you say no spill delivery. Come on, man. Definitely. So
irresistible.
Totally, man.
Don't even have to launch it.
I myself go and buy also spill out. So difficult. Okay, but before that, let me bring it up. This is Manfred's website of the week. What is that all about?
Okay, today we are covering this Resume Worded Pro. Okay, this is a paid product. You say, example, you want to send your resume for jobs or even LinkedIn profile. This one will actually use AI to grade your resume and your LinkedIn profile. So it's kind of fun with this thing. So actually, they have some algorithm behind it to find out all the problems and even give you grades, get experts feedback instantly. Okay, trusted by a lot of players here. And I'm using it right now, so it's quite fun. Can make some optimization on your LinkedIn profile also.
So you can actually use this to optimize the LinkedIn profile as well. It's meaning that they give you recommendations how to improvise. Yeah, nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Interesting.
But it's a paid product. How much is that?
I got it free so.
Hey. Okay. We don't tell how, huh?
Okay.
But if you want, then you can look for Manfred. If you want it free, then you can actually look for Manfred.
So I feel like updating my resume.
Seriously? Okay. All right. Wow, that's really tremendous learning. Like we have Chiwai was saying, writing resume also AI now. You know, right? And then we have from and then we have from Fool, great learnings today. Of course, you're actually learning from the master himself, right? So this is really the man behind and doing all this. Talk about launches. We all like small nitty-gritty thing. People doing 6, 7-figure, 8-figure launch, man. Come on, man. That's really another ball game.
Okay, we spend 6, 7 figures. We don't make 6, 7 figures.
Okay, so that brings us to, sorry?
You're getting there. This doesn't start at 7 figures.
Yeah, true. Like we have a fun there. This is
Ari.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Ari, thank you so much for joining us. And Chia was saying you recently used SaaS to write ads copy. That's smart. Then you're getting probably coming to the TFAS level already. You become like AI powered, copywriter that makes crazy money. So okay, that's what we have. There you go, episode 50, and we actually meet halfway. Kind of like we made it to halfway of our end goal, which is want to make 100 episodes. Well, that's another year to come. Imagine 50 episodes is almost a year. Okay, we are really happy to have you guys along, really to join us in this journey, and definitely to really celebrate our 50th episode. Thank you for joining us, Kenny, and sharing with us all the insights and crazy things, right? Okay, and remember, guys, if you want to get spill free coffee, what was the link already? Let me actually bring this up again. What the hell? Okay, remember to follow Crave Coffee on Instagram and order. Don't just follow, okay? Don't do that, funny thing. Okay, and of course, if you have any comment, then you can come back. That's really, that's what the Instagram is for. And with that, we wrap up the episode 50.
Kenny, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kenny. And thank you, everyone. Sorry?
Good luck to you guys.
Okay. Thank you. So, guys, thank you so much. That's what we do.
You can join us in backstage after that. You don't have to leave first, Kenny.
Yeah, we'll go back to the backstage a bit. Yeah. Okay, thanks, guys. See you next Wednesday, same time at 10 p.m. We go live over here to share with you something else about digital marketing. And with that, thank you so much. Good night, everyone. See you next week. Bye.
Next week, we start the next 50.
Yeah. See you. Bye.